Arsenal's disgusting tactics earned them a point, and they're proud of it. Arsenal fans, they're proud of themselves apparently. What have you got to be proud of, Arsenal fans? It was shameful. It was pathetic. It was anti-football, disgusting display of tactics. And I'm not talking about the defence. I'm not talking about parking the bus. None of that nonsense. I'm talking about cheating. I'm talking about time wasting. You call it the dark arts. It's cheating is what it is. That's all it is. You come onto the pitch to play football. We all pay our money as the match-going fans as I once was, and I miss those days. I really do. But I mean, the fans that were there they were robbed of a football match yesterday from a game that was just destroyed by time wasting. They're going to say they was destroyed by the referee. Why did the referee send off your player? Trossard was sent off for time wasting. Why was Declan Rice sent off for time wasting? Why has David Raya received more than one booking this season? Why was Saliba booked against Spurs? You know, why was 8 minutes of the game lost against Brighton? Time wasting. It's just anti-football. We've gone beyond let's insult Arsenal for defending. We're now talking about Arsenal not even wanting to play football. They don't even want to play. They want to kick the ball off the pitch. You know what I mean? They're like the big bullies that would rather play fucking rugby at school. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to play football. Let's get the ball and kick it off the fucking pitch. We don't play football. None of that nonsense. Kick it off the pitch. You fucking shithouses. The lot of you. And so to say you're proud of your team. What are your standards? What are your standards of achievement? There, we nearly cheated our way to 3 points. Just the scummy, cheating, cramp, injury after injury that was faked by so many players. Arsenal had their physio running onto the pitch without the permission of the referee. At times when the player had gone down with cramp, he got booked, by the way, for it, but they had a physio running onto the pitch without the permission of the referee. You pan to Mikel Arteta, the camera that looked at Mikel Arteta throughout that entire game he was like this the whole game, doing that to his players. Just all of this. Every time a ball went near him, he made sure he grabbed it, and the City players had to wrestle him to get it off him. He's holding onto the ball and turning his back on the City players. He did it last season. Kevin De Bruyne had to push him off the ball. We want to play football, mate. We're here to play football. We're not playing anti-football. It's not anti-football defensively. I'm not even talking about the defence. Do you know what I mean? That's what Arsenal are. They're on the guard. They've got the shield up, ready to defend any City fans who wants to have a go at them for parking the bus. I get why they park the bus with 10 men. Most teams do. I mean, Brentford, in fairness to them, they came to the Etihad and showed a big pair of fucking balls on all of them. Came to the Etihad and they played some good football, and we robbed them. We were so lucky to go away with 3 points. I felt like a draw would have been a fair result. The second half, City played well against Brentford, but the first half, we should have been 3-0 down. And now I'm hearing Arsenal fans saying that first half, Arsenal battered us. Battered us. Battered us? Are you for real? You've looked at the match stats, and I mean, all of the stats that you're about to see have the caveat that a man was sent off in the game. So I think they're all skewed. And I don't think you should read too much into any of the stats. Because in this game, you would think that Ruben Diaz and Kyle Walker were playing as number 10s. That's what you'll think. If you just went purely off the stats without watching the game, you would think that Ruben Diaz played in midfield and alongside Kyle Walker in the centre of our midfield. You'd think that with the stats that you're about to see because of how deep Arsenal went. Now, let me remind you, you can have a threat going the other way with 10 men. Chelsea away to Barcelona, you know, nicking the win, getting the goal with Torres scoring that goal with 10 men. That's what you do. You know what I mean? You at least offer a threat going the other way. You don't write the entire game off, you know. You only need to look at City's history. 3-0 down at White Hart Lane, being managed by Kevin Keegan, with the likes of Paul Bosvelt, Sylvain Distin in our team, Sibierski coming on, John Macken. Do you know what I mean? Sean Wright-Phillips, back in the day, 3-0 down, shithouse Joey Barton gobbing off at half-time and getting himself sent off. 10 men City, 3-0 down away to Spurs at White Hart Lane. You'll love this, Arsenal fans, if you're watching, because it's against your local rivals, Spurs. 3-0 down, we won 4-3. That's bottle. That's balls, that is. That is just not giving a shit. Let's fucking go for it, lads. Let's try and do something the other way. You can do it with 10 men. You don't have to just resort to just defending. And while I'm not even having a go at them for that, fine. If that's how you want to approach the game and try and get yourself 3 points, fine. But what's cost you is your shithousery, your tactics to cheat. Your time wasting has cost you because it added 7 minutes onto the game. And in the 7th minute, goal. Exactly what we deserved. And Saliba and Gabriel celebrating. Go back and watch the corner being awarded for our equaliser. They were celebrating. They thought they'd won the game. They thought, right, that's it. We've won the game. The ball's gone out for a corner. There's no way City are going to score from a set piece against the mighty set piece experts Arsenal. You know, yeah, credit. They are set piece experts, but they let one in from a set piece. They switched off. The mentality, you got to go though. Every second counts. You got to go the whole yard. You know what I mean? Not 0.9 yards. You got to go the whole yard against Manchester City. You can't switch off, and they did. They did. They absolutely did. And for me, that's another little indication of Arsenal just not quite good enough. You know what I mean? Not quite there yet, mentally. And I mean, the shenanigans that they showed throughout that game was a disgrace. They were disgusting. And like I said, it's not the defending, it's the cheating that I've got a problem with. And they got exactly what they deserved, which was, losing 2 points from a game they could easily have won yesterday if they played their cards right. But I've left the full match stats on your screen for you. Yeah, 10 men. You would expect City to put up numbers like that. First half where Arsenal battered us. Yeah, that's a real beating we took there, wasn't it? You know what I mean? 66% possession for City. 5 shots to their 4, 2 on target each. We had a better XG, same amount of big chances. It was even, you know, statistically, it was even. You can see the dirty fouls already, 7 fouls in the first half. Do you know what I mean? More than double what we did. Three yellow cards and a red card in the first half for Arsenal. So yeah, yeah, you battered us. Yeah, literally, you literally battered us. You tried to, you know what I mean, kicking Rodri off the park, doing your best to injure players, pulling back Savinho and just wiping it, and Partey getting a yellow card for wiping out Savinho. Cheating. Trossard just smashing him with an NFL-style tackle, just absolutely body-checking him. No eye on the ball, just absolute target on Bernardo Silva's spine. Shoulder right into the back of Bernardo Silva's spine. That alone should have been a yellow card, and then he boots it out of play. Time-wasting shenanigans has cost you dearly. Play the game. Play football, not cheating. That's why City fans are celebrating, and I'm being told not to celebrate because, we had to go at them for celebrating. You understand how football works. When a team comes to you and cheats and cheats and cheats and just defends and defends and defends, and then karma is served on a silver platter for Manchester City fans with a goal in the last kick of the game, what do you think we're going to do? Do you understand how football works? A last-second goal is usually celebrated. Believe it or not, it's usually celebrated. Defending and defending and defending and celebrating a point when your intention was a point, that's a different level of mentality. When you've been robbed in the game by refereeing decisions that have completely cost us an equaliser, Arsenal were gifted a way back into this game. We can't forget that. Kyle Walker was not back in position. There's no two ways about it. Again, if you understand the game, you understand the difference of being set and just being not in position. You understand that if you played the game properly at any level, really. At any level, 11-a-side level, you'll understand that you need to get back in that position. They wouldn't have even played that ball to Martinelli if Walker was set, because Walker would have been in a better position and made that ball to Martinelli a riskier one because Walker would have been much closer to him. But no, Walker wasn't in position, therefore Martinelli is in acres of space. Shock, horror, and the ball goes over to him, and from there, Arsenal equalise. Gifted by the referee that they're so willingly insulting for sending off a player through totally legitimate reasons for time wasting, and should have been a yellow card just for the fucking spine damage that he's trying to inflict on Bernardo Silva. There's no two ways about it that the referee made one big error, and it was in favour of Arsenal yesterday. There's not. What were Arsenal missing from that game? How were they robbed from any aspect of that game? They were trying to rob us. That's why we're celebrating. It's human instinct to celebrate when someone is trying to rob you and they fail. They fail to rob us. That's all they came to do yesterday, was to steal from Manchester City, not to beat us convincingly. Come to the Etihad, and in the first half, if they played that second half with 11 men, we never know. We never know how that game would have gone, because Arsenal would have definitely offered more threat going the other way, you like to think. Having got the lead, though, who knows? It would have just been probably the same standard of defending mentality, and that's never to be known, and hindsight is always going to be implied now onto that game, because we will not know. We will never know. But what we do know is Arsenal cheated. They wasted as much time as possible, and that's a fact. You're blind if you don't think David Raya, a goalkeeper with as much cramp as that, is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And there's the second half stats, which mean pretty meaningless, to be honest, considering how the game played out. 88% possession, 28 shots. Right, let's have a look at the ratings. Ederson, 6.5, 0.53 goals prevented. Yeah, quiet game for Ederson, really. Outside of the 2 times he's got to pick the ball out of the back of his net. Could he have done anything about the goals? Probably not. Calafiore was a great finish. He was blocked on the line for the corner. Yeah, I would want my defenders to do that, so I'm not going to nitpick at Arsenal too much, but I would want my centre-backs to be blocking the keeper like that. Yeah, 6.5 for Ederson. Walker, statistically, you're going to be annoyed by this, some City fans, but statistically, he was our best player yesterday. Go and look. Don't take my. If you don't want to believe me, go and have a look for yourself. The statistic websites out there have put Kyle Walker, with the stats that he put on the board, as the best Manchester City player yesterday. They haven't got stats that indicate how he should mark a player, though. There are no stats to say what Kyle Walker did wrong in the penalty area when he's been meant to be marking Gabriel. He had the foresight to say to Doku, no, leave it, mate. That's my man. I'll do a better job than you. He didn't. He did exactly the same job as Doku, which was to let Gabriel go past him with ease, just a little dummy, and he's gone. Really easy. He's got to be backtracking with him, go with him, just get in his way somehow. He had a free run to that back post, and Gabriel made it 2-1. And I felt like Kyle Walker played a huge role in us going down to 2-1 in this game, which is why his score is a 6. And I was in the first half, I'm thinking 4.5, maybe a 5 out of 10. The second half, everything went through him. And again, that's like Kyle Walker, that's not his strong point, but his actual numbers aren't bad at all. And I've put his crosses in there for you. He created a big chance as well. 1 shot on target as well, which was easily saved. It was straight at David Raya. But the crosses are there because I'm going to show you crosses for other players that are expected to be delivering the ball accurately. Kyle Walker is not one of those players, but he crossed it 3 times and 2 of them were on the money. But again, can't forgive him for that. I can forgive him. Of course I can forgive him, but I can't forget that first half performance, that first half mistake. You know, and nothing to do with the first goal, by the way. That's not a mistake. He's been called over for a conversation. I mean, the guy can't be in 2 places at once. It's not humanly possible. Yeah, that was harsh. Nothing harsh about the second goal, though. He's got to mark Gabriel so much better. Lapse of concentration. That was really, really costly from Kyle Walker. John Stones, giving him a 7. A little bit of a gimmick there, to be honest, because it's 12 minutes of football. He's touched the ball twice, and he scored a goal. Do you know what I mean? Johnny Stones, Johnny Stones. Don't you love it, mate? Absolutely love the man scoring a goal. He had a stinker against Brentford, he really did, but he's come on against Arsenal for the final 12 minutes and grabbed us a point. Is the least we deserved from that game. Yeah, I've given him a 7. Like I said, it's a bit of a gimmick, but yeah, still. Yeah, well played, Johnny Stones. Akanji, another 7, but that's a very legitimate 7 I'm giving him there because it was like the full 90 minutes. He was probably our most consistent defender throughout that game. 4 clearances, 4 key passes, 2 ground duels. He won all of them. He won half of his aerial duels, of which he entered 4. Heavily involved in the play and build-up play again with a 91%. He's just Mr. Consistent, isn't he? Akanji, he's having a fantastic season. Another 7 out of 10. Josko, second half performance was... He was quiet until he wasn't. He had 2 moments that were huge. 2 volleys. His technique's fantastic. He's got a bullet of a shot, hasn't he? And I mean, it was great. 2 great efforts. One that was a bit central and was easily saved. One was produced a very good save from David Raya. But even his defensive numbers, 3 tackles, really good. 2 clearances. Both those shots I've just mentioned on the money. And he won half his ground duels as well. So I've given Josko a 7.5, having played in midfield and in defence. And with a 97% passing accuracy is fantastic as well, considering he played in the midfield. Ruben Diaz, 6.5. Again, I'm being harsh. I'm punishing him for not doing a job well enough that is not really meant to be his job. Chance creation, shots on the edge of the area. You don't associate that with Ruben Diaz. If he's our chance creator and having 5 shots, of which 1 is on target, I've got to critique him on the game that he played. Do you know what I mean? And his game became an attacking game, and he's not good enough for it. That's not his job. Do you know what I mean? If he starts pulling strings for City, then we've got problems. You know, and if he's our only like threat with Kyle Walker and Akanji just being our creative players, we were always going to struggle. So yeah, defensively he was all right though when the ball went up the other way. He won 4 out of the 6 ground aerial duels he entered into. He won 3 out of 5 ground duels. So defensively sound, but there wasn't that much to do for Ruben Diaz defensively. So I've given him a 6.5. Rodri, now this is, mate, all right. Excuse me, but the season could be in big trouble, and the talking point that's not really settled yet because the dust hasn't settled on the game. The emotions of the game is still riding high with most fans still feeling what happened in that game. His injury is going to be a massive factor in our season now. How severe this injury is, because the rumours are, and the way he held his knee, I'm glad he got up and walked off, but he limped off. If that's an ACL or something like that, or something serious, which the rumours are being mixed, so just take the rumours with a pinch of salt just yet. You're just praying it's not serious. If it's serious and he's out for like 3 or 4 months, we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble, because as much as Kovacic has played really well when called upon this season, there's no replacing him. There's no replacing Rodri. So this is the biggest problem for our season now, really. It's like the news on how severe his injury actually is. How he played in the 21 minutes was okay. Got clattered once in the first seconds of the game. But yeah, not much to do, really, in 21 minutes of football for Rodri. 6 out of 10 is all I can give him because of the time he was on the pitch. Gundogan, 6.5. Yeah, I was really concerned about his involvement in this game. Again, ball retention's never in question with Gundogan. I would just like to see him be a little bit more creative now. You know, pull a few more strings, try a little bit more difficult things, because he's playing it very safe now in a Manchester City shirt. More than I remember him in his previous spell 2 years ago. He was a bit more of a risk taker, tries a few different things, little dinks to fullbacks, so, like a late run from Walker or Savinho or Doku, just like a little dink or a little through ball. He's not really trying it. It's very simple and sideways from Gundogan, and I want to see a little bit more. I also want to see him hit the target as well. Great free kick hitting the post. The volley though was a poor one. He skewed it horribly wide, and he should be hitting the target there. He probably had time to bring it down, but I don't think he was expecting to have that much time. But again, 3 crosses from Gundogan, 0 on target. So there's the reason why I'm highlighting the crosses, because same amount of crosses as Kyle Walker, and none of them on target for Gundogan, whereas 2 were on target for Kyle Walker. So yeah, I still felt like Gundogan played a good game. He was all right. It was just very, very simple. I want to see a little bit more from Gundogan going forward now. Kovacic, I thought he was really good. I say really good, a bit overly exaggerated there, but he was good. He was strong, and again, he was one of the players that just was camped on the edge of the area. And he was trying to pull a few strings. He tried to fire some passes and try and break the lines, but we're talking like this size gap, you know what I mean, between players. Everyone was within touching distance. So you try and thread a pass through, you know, and it's the same for Gundogan, by the way. It's the same as my criticism is applied to Gundogan there as well. It's not easy to thread balls through a defence when it's so compact like that. My point on Gundogan, though, is he could have done it in other games. He could have done it against Brentford, I thought, as well. And against Inter Milan, I thought he could have threaded a few more passes, try a few more things. And he's got 5 key passes, Kovacic. So there's an indication that he was successfully breaking the lines at times during his 69 minutes on the pitch. Ball retention equally as good, and I've given him a 7 out of 10. Could do with a bit more shots on target than that, as well as the ground duels, mind you. But still, I thought Kovacic was good, and we're going to need him out without Rodri. Phil Foden. 6 out of 10, 20 minutes of football, not too much to speak of really. Got himself a key pass, very quiet performance. I think he won a header that was quite important in the second half and getting it back into a dangerous area. Never amounted to anything, but little to speak of from Phil Foden. So I've given him a 6 out of 10. Jack Grealish though, 12 minutes, big impact on the game. 16 touches in 12 minutes. Passing accuracy is good. 2 key passes from Jackie Boy in 12 minutes. A dribble. He was successful. He was the one who took. He was quick. He was alert. Jack Grealish. He comes to the corner and he's like, "Give me that fucking ball." Takes it quickly and then gets it into Kovacic. Kovacic's shot is blocked, and then John Stones on the rebound Jack set that up. Well done, Jack Grealish, for coming on in 12 minutes and took the game by the scruff of the neck in those moments. And had a massive role in that equaliser. So I've given him another 7 out of 10, same as John Stones. Bernardo Silva was not his greatest game for me. He tries, and he never doesn't try, does he? Go and check out what he said after the game, by the way. I think he echoes every City fan's feelings. So that's why we love him, man. He wears the shirt with pride, doesn't he, Bernardo Silva? He's such a hard worker. I love how much of a sore loser he is as well. I love it. I love his sore loser attitude. I love it because that makes him a winner. Do you know what I mean? 5 key passes is good, very good. It's the crosses though. 6 crosses, none on target. We need to see a better end product than that from Bernardo Silva. He was really wasteful down that right wing in the second half, I thought. So many times that Jesus took it off him twice, really quickly. So I was disappointed in his second half performance, but you know, he's a special player, and you still hang your hat on him. I still believe he's going to win us games this season. Just the last couple of games has been a bit quiet from Bernardo. 6.5. Jeremy Doku, 70 minutes, 45 touches, 93% passing accuracy. I would have wanted to see a bit more from Jeremy Doku, to be honest, as well. Again, 3 crosses, 1 on the money. So Kyle Walker's beating them all. All these players that you expect to be crossing the ball accurately, Kyle Walker's outdone them all. But that's the only point on Kyle Walker that he saved him from getting less than a 6. But Doku was quiet again. He was on the left wing and the ball never really went his way in that second half. And I was disappointed to see how often it didn't go down that left-hand side, whereas I thought Savinho was heavily involved and played really well, whereas Doku a little less so. Savinho, giving him man of the match, 7.5 for Savinho. Really good performance. I thought in the first half he was a very potent threat down that right-hand side for City. Again, showing you the crosses, 5, 2 on target, which is not bad at all for Savinho. Created a big chance, 6 dribbles, 3 were successful. 11 ground duels, of which 7 were won. So that tenacity is there from Savinho, and I thought he was brilliant. Gets himself an assist as well. I thought he'd held on to it for a little bit too long. And that also, Haaland, the fact that he delayed his run to maintain to stay onside was brilliant from Erling Haaland. But the drive from Savinho to cut inside and then carry that ball like that, and then perfect weight on the pass for Haaland to make it 1-0, gets himself his another assist in his Manchester City career. I think it's a matter of time before he gets a goal as well, but he was a constant thorn in the side of Arsenal in that first half. So man of the match, 7.5 for Savinho. Finally, Erling Haaland. Frustrating second half because you just knew he was going to get very limited chances. There's a big chance missed there, which statistically went down as that header at the back post. That's a bit harsh to call that a chance, to be honest, because it was like barely any chance to actually get any power on it or anything like that. So really harsh statistic to give him a big chance missed. But yeah, 6 shots, 5 of them on target. That's what you want from Big Earl, innit? That's what you want. A key pass as well. 57% passing accuracy. I mean, yeah, it's not good enough. We need to see better passing accuracy. But, I mean, who's he got to pass the ball to in that situation? If he receives the ball in this game, especially in the second half, he's surrounded by Arsenal players. So he was never going to get a decent passing accuracy. But ground duels, I'd like to see that better because he lost a fair few with Saliba and Gabriel. But they're absolute beasts themselves. So we've got a beast. They've got a couple of beasts. So we need to be understanding of who he was up against in that second half. But aerial duels, very pleased with that. 7, and he won 4 of them. Really good. So I've given Erling Haaland a 7 out of 10. And don't forget he scored the first goal. What do you think to the game, Blues? Get in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Like and subscribe to Typical City, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is Typical City now.